Look at what is happening in Downlaod today, and many have said that is the litmus test for what is to happen in 2027. Now we look at how the law has been abrogated because we've seen state officers on the campaign trail against the law. The court has ruled on that. We know very well what we should do, what we must do, and what we shouldn't do. Yeah. But that notwithstanding, then, you look at the people's response, whether you talk about Mbere, what happened in Mbere, Malava, would one reckon that the feeling on ground on how they feel and the change they need cuts across beyond even Downlaod?
It does cut across? A very good question. You know, let's go back to 2002. The same country, the same constitution, the same people. But within hours, people behaved differently. The very people who are subservient somehow to Daniel Moi, a few hours after the rainbow took over through Moi Kibaki, were gathering at the KICC singing Marietu for takeover of Kenyatta International Convention Center. And indeed, that generation of national demand that KICC must go back to the people because it had been grabbed by KANU did happen through the Ministry of Tourism. A few months later, everything was done, and today KICC is a parasito. What does it say? The same people and a new different environment. Remember, in the first few days of that administration, 2003, civilians were arresting traffic police officers who were trying to take a bribe on the roads. And things happened. Remember, the same people who were crowding matatus, demanding loud music and everything, walking to town when then Minister Michuki demanded that they all install safety belts, which is a good legacy to date. People decided to defy their comfort, walked long distances to places of work, risked their jobs because they were arriving to places of work late, but to support a good policy. Now, this administration, when people are seeking even to demand or protest non-violently for new policy, for better terms, for a good governance, what is the response? Subarus, bullet. When children in schools are asking, and when I talk about children, I'm talking about the youth of Kenya, they're asking for bread, they're asking for jobs, they're asking for just placement in colleges and universities. What are they getting? Bullet. Instead of bread, bullet. Instead of comfort of trekking with twigs and placards into a Subaru, abductions. So, what I know is that it takes daring or audacity for things to change. But when those things change, you remember, you see all these bypasses. I've used a bypass to arrive here. Otherwise, I would have come here at 10 instead of, I arrived here an hour before because of these eastern, northern, southern bypasses. When Raila Odinga was Minister for Roads, when he was demolishing those houses, he was said he was attacking the rich people who had built on government public land. So, if you do the right thing, people will be with you. Remember, in the first few months of Ruto administration, some of us were supporting him on when he was saying he's going to make sure everybody pay taxes, and he was saying, you know, I'm going to upset this system, I'm going to establish an inquiry to investigate on impunities. We agreed. But what happened? He targeted those who are corrupt. He enrolled them into his cabinet. He started seeking the so-called dynasties that was condemning. He brought them to their fold and started abrogating the constitution, breached every article of the constitution, appointing illegal advisors. You know, He said he is going to change the university funding model. Now universities are collapsing. Those that are still standing by grace of God or by spectacular stewardship by the administrations, they are just fortunate. So, yes, Kenyans the same. They will receive a bribe here. They will receive a handout here, whether it's in a Malava, whether it's in Kisumu. You will get a goon in Nyahururu. You will get a goon in Homa Bay. But it's because the fish is rotten from the head. It is because, as I said last time, the eloquence of empty plates and the eloquence of deception is in place, and the reign of statehood and the palace of the Republic of Kenya is occupied by the unfit.